Hello, everyone. It's Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let me just kind of minimize and get things started so I can see your comments. Today is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. You're watching this live if you see live up in the corner. Otherwise, you're watching the replay. And I'm so glad that you've taken the time out of your day to come and stamp with me. So today I have a masculine card, and I'm going to be using the stamp set Vintage Tools. But I also have a fun technique using rubber bands. And I hope that you will like this card today. And I'm kind of pausing because it says check your encoder settings. Keyframe recommends 2. I have no idea what that means. So if someone does jump on here, say hi and let me know if you can hear me. I'd appreciate that. And we're just going to continue on. So I'm going to be using a rubber band technique, which is not new, but it is new to me. So I've been practicing, and we're going to make our card today using the rubber bands. And this may be new to you, but again, it's not a new technique. Let me give prizes away, and then we're going to start stamping. Hi, Connie. It's good to see you. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I had some kind of a message pop up that I just disregarded and hope that everything's okay. So there's 3 ways that you can win a prize. You do need to live in the United States, because I can only send prizes to you if you live in the United States. But I do appreciate all of you that watch me from other countries. So for my last live, thank you, Connie. I'm glad you can hear me. For my last live, we made this cute card from the stamp set By My Side. And congratulations to the winner of the random drawing for leaving a comment, Heidi Davis of Knoxville, Tennessee. And this card will be out in the mail to you along with an envelope. Another way you can win a prize is by sharing my video. But please, when you share my video, make sure you leave me a comment that you have shared my video so I can make sure that I have you in the drawing for a prize. And this is the Ornate Garden Ribbon Combo Pack, and it's really, really pretty. And congratulations to Sherry Wilson, who shared my video. I do need your address, Sherry, so please email me, and the contact information is in the description of this video. And then the last way you can win a prize is by placing an order with me. And congratulations to the winner of the random drawing for placing an order with me for my last live, Donna Schwartz from Manhattan, Kansas. This stamp set counting sheet will be off to you in the mail tomorrow. Hi, Vay. It's good to see you. So again, if you're new here, welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe. And if you hit that the bell notification, you'll be notified when I upload videos. Well, I have a couple things I want to talk to you about, and then we're going to start stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down and turn a little lights on so you can see my workspace a little bit better. You may register for the online global retreat. So registration is open, and the information is in the description. You can also go over to my website, rusticbarncards.com, and get all the information and the registration is over there for you to fill out. So I have teamed up with 2 other awesome demonstrators, Connie from Australia, and let me try that again. Sarah from Australia, Connie from Canada, and myself, but plus we have a bonus guest presenter from the UK. So this is going to be our biggest online global retreat yet. And it doesn't matter what country you live in, you can go ahead and just click that link in the description and you'll get more information and you can fill out the form and we will make sure it goes to the correct demonstrator. You will receive a retreat in a box shipped to your home. You have a goodie bag with over $30 of product, make and takes, with also more than 30 additional ideas and projects in addition to the make and takes, pillow gifts, prizes, lots of fun. So again, you can get the link to read more information and how to register in the description. We are going to use vintage tools today, and I'm going to be making a masculine card, although I am very aware that there's also women that use tools and build and make things. But I'm kind of thinking of Father's Day, so I was kind of having that in mind, although you can send this card to anyone. So we have lots of different tools. The sentiments: it's your day, strong, solid, dependable. You're all that and more. You're plain awesome. Build in some time for yourself. Today, we're going to use the sentiment: build in some time for yourself, the hammer, and the nails. In our annual catalog, our new annual catalog on page 87, and this is the May 2022 to April 2023. On page 87, you will find the Vintage Tools stamp set. It has 12 clean stamps for $22 if you live in the United States. Now, don't let me forget that I have an envelope decorated that goes with this card, and I don't always show that, and I'm afraid I might forget. But let me bring in what we're going to need as far as the cardstock. You really do not need to copy this down. In the description, you will find a link that will take you to a page on my website that will have a printable tutorial that you can print off with all the measurements and everything. So we are going to have early espresso. So that's our card base, and that's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it 4 1/4. And so I'm going to go ahead and just fold that over and use the bone folder, give it a better crease. You're going to need scrap of basic white. You'll need 2 basic white cut at 5 1/4 by 4. You'll need basic white cut at 5 by 3 3/4. You'll need another basic white cut at 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. I'm going to lay that aside. We're going to stamp on that. You need crumb cake cardstock cut at 3 by 4 1/4. And Sierra sand 2 3/4 by 4. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to take one of those 2 layers that we have, and we're going to go ahead and adhere that to the inside of our card base. So I'm going to use some liquid glue. Now, you could definitely stamp another image if you wanted to on this card layer before you adhere it to the inside of your card. I am not going to today, but you most certainly could. And we're going to wait for that. I'm going to bring in this basic white, which is 5 by 3 3/4. And I am going to need some rubber bands. So this is the technique that we're going to be using. So you just take a block, and don't worry, I have one already ready to go, but I just wanted to show you. So you just grab some rubber bands, and just place your rubber bands on here and make sure that they're smooth. And then you can just put them on randomly. So every one of your cards are going to be kind of different, just depending on how you put the rubber bands on here. So you just keep doing that, and then you will have a block of rubber bands. So this is what we're going to be using. And let me show you the card that we're going to make. So this is the card that we're going to make today. I'm going to change this. I'm going to add a little bit, do a little bit something extra to the sentiment that I'll show you today. And so we are going to be making this background using the block with the rubber bands. So I'm going to be using Sahara Sand, Creme Cake, and Early Espresso. Plus, I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green and black ink today, or Memento black ink. So we're going to start with the lightest and work up. So we're going to start with Sahara Sand, Creme Cake, and then Early Espresso. And then I also will be cleaning my block between the colors. Okay, so you can see, and I think you can. So I'm just going to ink up the rubber bands. And then we are just going to start stamping. And you can just do this randomly. And it's good to kind of turn your card. So I think that looks good. Now I am going to have to clean. So I have my chamois a little bit juicy, so I can just kind of press it in there. And then we're going to close up Sahara Sand, and we're going to start with Creme Cake. So we're just kind of building and making kind of like our own DSP using the rubber bands. But this is going to come out differently, even if I made another card, because it just kind of depends on, you know, where you stamp at. And I'm going to turn that and put some right there. Okay, that looks good. And now we'll clean our block. And we will use Early Espresso. So ink this up. I think I'm just going to go straight at an angle. And you just kind of have to decide when you want to quit. I think I'm going to come back with my Sahara Sand. I'm going to clean, make sure my block is clean. I'm going to ink at this here, sand. I just feel like I need right up here, maybe. Right over there. So you can just kind of experiment. I think that looks good. It looks kind of a mess, doesn't it? But it will look fine when we have our card put together, or I hope it will. Yes, Vay, it's really fun. And again, you get a different look each time. We're going to set that aside. And then I'm going to bring in our natural finish ribbon. And if you haven't seen this ribbon, this is in our new annual catalog. And I have, I think, about maybe 6-7 inches of ribbon, and we are going to stamp on this ribbon. And I think I'll bring in my piercing mat, which I had forgot to grab. And I'm going to bring in our nails, and we're going to use crumb cake. So I'm going to ink up our nails, and you can stamp right on. I did that a little bit. See where that line is. So I didn't want to do that, but maybe when I put it on our card, we won't see that. I just pressed too hard. I forgot I was using this piercing mat that gives me some cushion. Well, thanks, Connie. I'm glad you like the background. So I'm going to lay this aside. And now I'm going to come in with, and this basic white is 3 3/4, excuse me, it's 3 3/4 by 2.5. And this is what we're going to do most of our stamping on. And I'm going to start stamping first with our sentiment. Just that way I know I have room for the hammer. So I'm going to build in some time for yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to make sure, again, because it didn't feel like it was straight. Not straight, so let me see if I can. And if you're not happy with it, we will just try that again. So I'm going to, I like to put my stamp down and then pick it up this way. And now let's see if I can get it straight. Better. Okay, well, let's hope, right? Not too bad. We'll go with it. All right. So that's all. And then we're going to need our early espresso. And I'm going to bring in our hammer. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Now we are going to also, we're going to stamp on the scrap paper a hammer because we're going to fussy cut that out. So the reason I want to add it to this basic white card layer is that I want to make sure that I have it lined up where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to put it kind of at an angle, and I'm going to do it just a little bit over to the right because I'm going to add some nails over here. Clean my stamp. I'm going to grab some crumb cake. I'm using crumb cake. And then I am just going to place some nails right here. And our card is just about ready to put together. Now, I've already fussy cut this out, but before I do show you that, I also want to bring in Granny Apple Green and our sentiment. And I'm going to stamp it right down there at the bottom. And then I am going to cut out yourself and time, because we are going to add this to our sentiment to make those two words pop out. So time we'll get rid of these scraps. And then I have already fussy cut out the hammer. And now I am going to be adding that, but let's go ahead and get some of our layers put together. So let's bring in and it looks like, I know it's hard to believe, but it looks like that I wanted a white layer behind this, so I stamped this on the 5 1/4 by 4, and I wanted to stamp it on the 5 3/4. So we're just going to make this, we're going to cut this down so it's no problem. We're going to make it 5 3 3/4 like I wanted. And then I'll grab some basic white because now I need a 5 1/4 by 4. So there was a lot of basic white layers. So you just need to make sure that, and of course I wouldn't have to add that extra basic white layer, but I like the way it looks. So now we can layer these two together. And then after we layer these, we're going to be adding our ribbon on here. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Rita. Good to see you here. So I am going to go ahead and just layer this up. And another option I could have had, instead of resizing that and have it like a 1, I could have just went with this as my background and not have the basic white, but I really wanted the basic white. So this is the ribbon that I have stamped the nails on, and this is that natural ribbon in I'm going to put it just a little bit below the, and it's like I have plenty of ribbon, and I can take glue dots, or I'm just going to put some adhesive here. And I'm going to do a little trim because we don't need quite that much. And then I like to just double check and make sure that I have it straight before I add my adhesive. Now you could certainly use stamp and seal. You could use glue dots. I've even known some people would use Scotch tape. So Now we're going to bring in our card base, and we're ready to add this right on top. And I will want to make sure that I put extra glue on top of the ribbon so that will stay down. And then we're just going to go ahead and center this the best we can. And then we'll bring in our crumb cake and our Sierra sand. And we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive. And again, all the measurements are on my website, and I gave the measurements at the beginning of this video if you missed them, but you can click in the description and give me just a little bit of time to post that, to get that up on the website, the tutorial. And let me see, I am going to add dimensionals. So we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Take those backings off. I think this rubber band technique is so fun because every time you make the card, and I'll show you the first card again, that I'll share that with you, and this card when we're finished, and we can see the difference even though I did the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and pop this up right here on the front of our card. And then I'm going to bring in some mini dimensionals just for the handle of the hammer. And I believe that we can get a large dimensional on the top. So there aren't any dies with this set, but the tools are really easy to fussy cut. Just to take your scissors and cut around them. And I'm going to pop this, be a little bit of the edge there. And then I'm going to pop this up right on my hammer. And then we had cut out yourself and time. So I'm going to add a little adhesive on the word time. And we are going to build in some time for yourself, and that way time and yourself is going to be kind of highlighted. I don't want to get too much glue, so I was trying to there we go, build in some time for yourself. And now we're going to turn this over and we're going to add some dimensionals. The dark brown is early espresso, Cindy. So I'm using early espresso, Sierra sand, and crumb cake. Those are my three main colors today. I did stamp the sentiment in Memento black ink. So the card base is early espresso, and then I did the rubber band technique, and I used all three colors, early espresso, Sierra sand, and crumb cake, cleaning my stamp in between when I made that background. And then I'm going to be bringing in some Rustic Metallic Adhesive Back Dots, and these are new in our new annual catalog. And I am looking for my Take Your Pick tool because I'm not sure that I can craft if I don't have your Take Your Pick tool. But for some reason, it seems to have walked off. So I may have to, there it is. So this tool here, if you do not have this, I would highly recommend it. I use it for so many different things. It has a pointy end, and then you turn that around and you have a spatula, and it just goes in there and turns to lock. And then this side is your putty. And so the Rustic Metallic Dots, there are smaller sizes and larger sizes. So I am going to use the smaller ones today. I put 2 up there, and I'm going to put 1 about right here. I sure made a mess on my grid paper, didn't I, today? So this is our card, build in some time for yourself. And this is the first card. So it looks like I did stamp this in crumb cake, and then I stamped the first card in early espresso. So on this card, I did not highlight the time and yourself. So which card do you like the best? You like it where I kind of highlighted the time and the yourself, or do you like the first one? So this is the card I shared with you, and this is the card that we made together. Yes, Vay, that Take Your Pick tool is definitely something that you want to have in your crafting stash. That's true. Well, thank you, Cindy. I'm glad that you like that background. And thanks, Rita, for saying my card is amazing. I really appreciate all of you taking the time. And you like both cards, Connie? Well, thank you. I really, and hi, Kelly, good to see you. So I really appreciate you taking the time. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe by clicking that subscribe button. I come live on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Central. And I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Again, I will have all the measurements. Just give me just a little bit of time because I want to add the link to this video in my printable tutorial for you. But I'll have that description. Don't forget the online retreat or online global retreat is coming up, and you can sign up now, and the link and more information is in the description. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.